Ladies and gentlemen,
First I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights
thinking how you get me wrong, back of you strong, and I learned how to get along. I'm back. What are you doing out of space, woman? Well, you shouldn't have walked in. You should have walked out. Hey, she should have made him leave the key if she had known just for 1 second that he would have come back to bother her. Turn around. Ladies and gentlemen, the fact that that young lady died without anything to her name per se. Now, I'm not saying she didn't have nothing, because royalties are royalties. If she signed those away, I don't know. But that's our society. Now, wait, hold on now. I will say this, and I'm not talking about her, but I'm talking about actors and singers, because they want us to feel sorry for certain people. Actors, singers, and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't feel sorry for an actor or a singer or any other person out there who claims they've been wronged by the system. Pay attention. They all signed those contracts. I didn't force them. In some cases, nobody forced them to sign the contract. But you have people who have complained about certain individuals strong-arming them to force them to sign contracts. Now, that's a different story. Okay, different story altogether. Got something I want to bring to you all's attention. It's 2:20 in the morning. Been up since 12. That happens. I talked to somebody. He says, it looks like you're going to get another 3 hours of sleep tonight, huh? And he was absolutely right. I'll get a little bit more than 3 hours because I won't get up out of this bed. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going nowhere. And that should... Yes, I wake up this way all the time, okay? I wake up with energy. It's going to sleep is where you're not supposed to have energy. And sometimes I go to sleep after having a lot of energy. It's an interesting life. You know, I want to talk about one thing. I've had individuals get in touch with me because they think they can manipulate me. In their minds, they formulate a plan on how they're going to try to convince me to help them indirectly so that I may assist them, because they figured out in their minds. Now, first of all, let me help you out. Those of you who think, I grew up in the projects. I grew up talking like this in the projects. Too many people tried to beat you to it. Okay, I've already been through people trying to manipulate me, trying to take advantage of me with words. My own family did that to me. That's why I stopped speaking with them, because I got tired of manipulation. So if you want to be hated by somebody, by all means, go ahead and try. I'll take the challenge. Now, the reason why I bring this to your attention is because the Lucille Ball and Ethel Mertz, Vivian and Lucille, they sang a song. It's friendship, just the perfect friendship. Da 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 da. Ta ta ta. You guys remember that, right? Well, I said it before, I say it again. Most people don't understand what friendship is. It's just a word. It's just a word to them. Everybody, I could be a friend. You probably could to someone, but none of you could be a friend to me. And that's what you don't get. All of these people, you have no idea. I wait for them to fizzle. They all talk about how they want to be my friend, but they don't want to be a friend. They want somebody who's going to help them better understand things and better understand how to solve their problems. And then once they get their problem solved, they're gone. Bye-bye. See you later. Oh, no, don't worry about writing. No, take care. Okay, no, hold on. I'm about to slam the door, so don't let it hit you. Okay, bye-bye. That's the problem. Once they get what they want, they're gone. I've been going through this for over 50 years. 50 years. I reflect on some of them and they go, those those were some good times. The ones who I actually knew and befriended. And then I go over to ones who told me how much of a great guy I was and how much they wanted to be friends. Oh, Lord. Oh, God. They're not here anymore. Oh, by the way, I just did a song, The Essence of a Woman. Okay, To Love a Woman, I think it was by Bryan Adams. Okay, that's where the concept came from. Okay, and so The Essence of a Woman, I decided I would make a song, and I literally, everything you hear, every word, I've made up at the moment. It's not a song to where I gave a lot of thought into. I just wanted to make a song that explained a moment. You know, walking down the street and noticing someone and not speaking up at the time, but realizing things about the individual without them having have said a word, and how everyone else noticed the uniqueness in that one individual, and that individual goes through every day of their lives like that, but they do not think themselves to be exceptional, but everybody else thinks they're exceptional. And then it talks about what is admired in a woman. Why? Because there's a book of the Bible. It is the 31st chapter of the book of Proverbs. You might as well go 30 and 31, where it defines what a capable woman is. We live in a society where they want rights and they want women's live, and they don't want no more, I want to stay at home, be barefoot and be pregnant. They don't want no more of that. And they shouldn't have it. However, that was explaining when a person realizes the true value of a woman. We have a lot of people getting divorced. We have a lot of people leaving their spouse for another. We have a lot of people growing out of love. That's a shame that people don't realize what they have, whether it be women or men. That's a shame that we as humans interfere with other relationships, trying to tear them apart because we're jealous of what that couple has. That's the only reason why people commit infidelity. It's because of jealousy. They think they're missing out on something, or they want something that someone else has. That's why the Bible speaks of it as being covetousness or greed. Jealousy is greed. You want something that doesn't belong to you, that you don't have a right to. But you just got to have it. That's the song, The Essence of a Woman. That's just so some of you understood what was behind the song. Okay? I hadn't made a song in a while. And I've been really on the tip, before I continue in the conversation that I was getting ready to have, I've been really on the tip, ladies and gentlemen, of this so-called lawyers coming together and suing people for making AI, saying that you used our artist's song, you used their voice. I'm sorry. And your artist tried to impersonate someone else prior, or they used someone else's lyrics, words, or melody. How dare you sit up here and think that you can claim somebody used someone's voice? What part of their voice did they use? Go ahead, do a synthesis. You'll see that that's not their voice that's being portrayed. Yeah, it sounds like it. That was the basis for it, but that wasn't it that was being produced. So what? They used it to train an AI model. There was nothing illegal from that. You can take my words right now and create, because people have been doing it, petitions and motions before courts and winning. I just did a video with a group of individuals and video with you guys explaining how someone said they got several cases dismissed with prejudice. You guys don't understand. The courts are blocking me. They're not blocking you. They don't understand. I'm receiving success through you all when you file your petitions and you have success. I promise you, I am really getting ready to let them know exactly who I am. They keep wanting to play games with me. I keep telling them, I ain't the one to quit, okay? I'm not Wu-Tang, and I'm not a clan, but I still ain't nothing to quit. I just, hey, all ignorance aside, ladies and gentlemen, I said before, this is the part of me my mother says she could not stand, and I worked very hard to keep it under control. She said, and these are her words, and I'm going to tell you, I ain't going to hide it. She said I had some low down, dirty, and nasty ways. Now, her word nasty wasn't that, ooh, you nasty. That wasn't the nasty that she was talking about. In her use of the term nasty, she was saying something she didn't like, something that was repulsive to her. What were those ways that she was talking about? Another person, James, he said that I was... You guys heard of Deadpool? Well, that's what he described me as. You know how Deadpool, how vicious and violent he is? Okay, that's what I was described as at the age of 16. That's the person I've kept in check. Everybody, the people who are around me, they can see that I have that in me, but I don't let that come out. I've worked very hard to keep that person in check. There are a lot of people out there who want to test me because they think they're bigger and badder. They have no idea. And that's why I'm so grateful that I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Because the God I serve, he doesn't allow that under any circumstance. And I won't disrespect him with that at all. So I keep that in check. So it's not about pride or anything like that. It's not about manning up to someone else or, oh God, I don't have competition. I don't look for it. I have had to tell a couple of people because the young man I would tell you guys about, the one that lived in New York that I helped out and everything, the first person I met when I went to New York, well, he stopped talking to me. And I'm okay with that. He stopped talking to me because I told him I wasn't going to have him disrespecting me. Now, I've known him for over 25 years. Well, 20 years. Actually, at this point, 21 years. And I told him he knew that I would not allow certain things. But he's been trying to prove that he's a man. And he's into martial arts and all that stuff. And I tell him he has LMS, little man syndrome. Yeah. I made up the phrase LMS when I was 8 years old because there were a lot of short people who were trying to stand up to me as a kid. A lot of the shorter kids, smaller kids were always trying to stand up to me. And so I just said, you have LMS. And they looked at me because I had heard the phrase little man syndrome. And I just came up with the acronym LMS. And I've been using the LMS since about 8 years old. A lot of things happen about 8 years old, huh? That's right. Because 8 years old for me wasn't the year of awareness. The 8 years old was the year that I knew that I was different from everyone else. That was what happened at 8 years old. 7 years old, I was an observer. I just watched everybody. But 8 years old, I started speaking. Only to family members, not to friends, for the most part. Because I really didn't have a lot of friends at the age of 8. I didn't want them. I was very selective with my friends. Even, that's been my entire life. My very first friend, Sean Hanner. I'll say the young man's name. I like Sean. To this day, Sean has no idea that he's still my best friend. Literally. I even saw Sean about 20 years ago. I saw Sean, spoke to him, but we hadn't seen each other in 15 years at that point. But about 20 years ago, going on 30, I saw Sean again. No, as a matter of fact, I got to correct that. It was about 20 years ago, not going on 30, about 20 years ago. I saw Sean and we spoke, but it was that male pride thing. But Sean has always been my best friend. He was my first best friend. He will always be my best friend. And we don't know anything about each other anymore. But he's still my best friend because he was that first best friend. Oh, Sean was my best friend in kindergarten. Okay? That was my first friend in kindergarten. He will always be my first friend. He will always be my best friend. Ta-da! So, anywho, in this wonderful life, having gone through all of these people, again, they don't understand friendship. When I tell you that Sean, that very first one, is still my best friend to this day, if he was to come to me today and tell me he needed my help, he would get that, no questions asked. He will always have that position. Nobody else can have that position because he was my first friend outside my family. He will always be my best friend. Sean and I have always been able to, no matter when we saw each other, whatever, always been able to talk. Here's the thing. I probably wouldn't recognize Sean if I saw him tomorrow. He would have to say his name, and once he said it, hey, we're back to old times. But still my best friend. You see, that's friendship. My friend Kevin that died in 1989, my best friend. Nothing anybody can do about it, nothing he can do about it. Now hold on now. We're gonna go beyond that. I have a conversation with Jehovah, my God, all the time. And I tell Jehovah, my God, all the time that I love him. And that there's nothing he can do about it, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. I can't even do anything about that. Throughout all eternity, that love will always be there. Not just a little bit of love. Okay? It is a fact. My brother, Christ Jesus, will always be my best friend. And my brother. Some of you understand what I mean when I say that. Many of you don't. I don't care. Has nothing to do with you, your opinion, what you think. It's a fact. So, I am here at 2:36 in the morning because I'm about to do something that has never been done before. And it's a very dangerous thing. Legally. It is extremely dangerous in reality because it's never been done before. But I'm about to do it. And the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, that I've known this opportunity, this moment was going to come. That I would be in this position. That's where the name Eon comes from. You must understand, in 2013, the name Eon was given to me. I didn't make it up. I never would have created such a name for myself. But here's the thing. No matter where I go, I'm known as Eon. But I knew that already because I seen it. Now, wait, hold on. You don't understand. I have seen this moment in my life. I can't explain it to you. I've seen it. Almost 15 years ago, I have seen this. I'm just waiting for the pandemic. The real pandemic. Oh, did you know that we can talk about COVID now? It's no longer taboo to say COVID. Before you couldn't say COVID. Lord have mercy. This is our society, ladies and gentlemen. They went through such great lengths to prevent people from talking about something that they knew was wrong. And now all of these people are sick. All of these people are sick. And there's no other explanation for it. You guys are not hearing about all the people who got medical problems now as a result of going through, listening to these so-called officials telling them that this is the only way to protect yourself and your family. And they listened not because they were gullible, but because they were good civilians. They were good people. They were only trying to do what was right. They were only trying to protect you and their neighbor. They were told that if they didn't do it, they would be a danger to everyone else around them. And so they did it to protect their elderly family members and their younger ones, because that's what they were told. So don't get mad at somebody because they did that. They did that because they were not looking out for themselves. They were not being selfish. I'm not saying every one of them were not selfish. I am saying the majority of them were people who were trying to protect those around them. So don't knock them or blame them. I told people I could not take a stupid vaccine. One, because I have too many ailments. 23 and counting. Different documented disorders. Oh yeah, you got some disorders, all right. I done seen it, ain't no order to that junk at all. Oh, God. Anyway, and thus, the effect of the vaccine on any one of those were unknown. So the answer was no. If you cannot promise me that there won't be side effects, then no, I'm not taking that. The only way I would take that is if there isn't any side effects. See, what most people didn't know, the Supreme Court had already ruled. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? I already know that I have the right of choice when it comes to medical. Because the reason why you have that in the United States, pay attention, because you're not going to believe this, is because Jehovah's Witnesses fought for that. Don't believe me? Go back and look at the cases. It was those cases during the 1940s and 50s by Jehovah's Witnesses on these issues. And from those eras in through the 1970s, that, because remember, other countries didn't recognize these rights. It was once Jehovah's Witnesses started winning in the United States, they won them in Europe, and they won them in Canada, and so on and so forth. The right for you to choose your medical. That was them. Now, finally. Oh, I'm so glad you're finally getting to the end of this, because it's been, almost so, look at that. Look how long you've been on this thing. Let me see, I don't know how long I've been on. 22 minutes. That's not been that long. Anyway, finally. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to all of this, when it comes down to all of this information, when it comes down to all of the paperwork, when it comes down to helping people, it is with Jehovah's help that I get to do this. That's why I don't need anything from anyone. I'm going to eventually do a video, it's got to clear my throat, asking the people, sorry about that, asking the people who have benefited and who will benefit from the information that's going to be given in the future. And there will be some information in the future that many of you are going to benefit from when doing your taxes. I'm so glad that cut itself off. Anyway, many people have benefited and will benefit. I'm going to allow them to donate so that we can put things together to help other people. Not to help me. I have everything I need. I have no ambitions to become rich. I have no ambitions for more money. I do believe what Biggie said. I'm not joking about this. Him and Puff got together. More money, more problems. Hey, Puff. Yeah, you experiencing that, right? Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah, I know it's a prophecy. In your case, okay. It's just a fact. I have everything I need. But in the future, I will do that. But getting back to you all, the amount of people who benefited, the amount of people who have all of these credits on their taxes, they just need to know how to convert it to lawful money. What I mean by lawful money? Cash equivalent. Cash equivalent is lawful money in the United States. Shh, don't tell nobody. It's a secret. How do you convert it to cash equivalent? Now, you have to do your research. See, I'm not going to voluntarily give you that information, but I'll give you this. I'm going to give you a couple of words. You're going to document these words. You're going to document these phrases. And you're going to put that into the GPT model, and you're going to go from there. We're going to start with the phrase right here. The Supreme Court has held that anything with a property interest must have economic value an economic substance. In other words, there must be an economic benefit associated with it. So anything that you can attribute an economic value to is property. And any property, whether intellectual, tangible, or intangible, that you have an interest in operates as a property interest. You have a constitutional right to that property interest. Doesn't matter what it is. Your homes, your cars, your boats, your whatever. Your life, your rights. Your rights are your property. You have an interest in that. Yay! You can take that interest and put it in trust. Whoa! Now hold on now. A couple of things you got to pay attention to. Those are the key phrases. Now, the next phrase you need to understand is anything with a property interest and has an economic value, that value, Congress has assigned that value as dollar for dollar. Why? Because that value is a financial interest. Financial interest, because it has an economic value. That means it has a dollar amount. That financial interest is dollar for dollar. Yay! So you put that on your books. What books? Your journal entries, your books, as a financial asset. Now, there are so many different words for a financial asset. You can call it over 4,000 different things documenting it's a financial asset. So you got to do your research into what is a financial asset. Then you have to do your research that a financial asset is construed as a, pay attention, cash equivalent. What qualifies an item as a cash equivalent? Congress doesn't define this. Guess who defines it? ASC, Accounting Standards, defines it as cash value. So do your research on that. Now, once you do that, and once you understand it's a financial asset, now you can document it on your books. Hold on now, we're not finished. Tax season. I do this every year. Okay? Give you guys information like this every year. Now you got to document it on your taxes. You can't just have the credits, ladies and gentlemen. Anybody can have the credits. Okay? Anybody can have credits. Now you need to make them cash equivalent. How do you make them cash equivalent? You document it on your books. Now, how do you record that on your taxes? Now, that's the most important part. You have to find the form. I'm not going to tell you which ones, with an S it is, to take that cash equivalent and use portions of it. I'm going to tell you 31%, but yet let's make it 50%. If you have $100, you're going to take $50 and you're going to use that to pay the taxes. How do you pay the taxes? With a bill of exchange? No! I said you're going to use those credits to pay the taxes. So you're going to document it on your correct forms, and it's going to be used to pay taxes. So now you got to go find out, how do I use my assets to offset my taxes, such as paying them or overpaying them? Go into your GPT models with that. Now, that's where you all can donate. Once you understand how to do that, then yeah, you can contribute. Okay? Other than that, I don't do donations. But on that one right there, you see, I can't just give you that one for free, and you can't do a consult for that information. But I gave you more than enough right there. Those of you, hey, I want you to know, not everybody stays to the end of my videos because they can't handle, look, he talked about all that other stuff, and then he gonna talk about this at the end. I need to listen to this video to the end. Okay, they can't handle that. Oh well, they're lost because I'm not here for them. I'm here for those of you who took the time to, well, that's the time I feel like making love to me. I got to get back to her. See, when you stay to the end, hold on now. Get stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, need to get that sad look off your face. She should have changed that stupid lock, and she should have made him give back that key. She should have known for more than a second that he would be back to bother her. So go on now, turn around and get on out here. You ain't welcome here no more. Look, ladies and gentlemen, very good song. Hey, I gotta go. Hopefully the rest of you, with the information given at the end of this video, you'll understand. Many of you are not going to understand because that information wasn't for you. But there are certain people out there who've been doing research, who've gotten to that point, and they got stuck. Okay, hopefully that was the unstuck you. Hey, I ain't got no more chains or anything. Okay, you get stuck again, you're going to be stuck in that mud. I ain't got time. Okay? Uh-oh. My song went off. Hey, Gloria, who's after you? Hey, I can't play them. I can't play them. They not going to let me. I got to go, y'all. It ain't going to let me play this. We can't do that. I can't play the Rolling Stones. Desperado. See, I'm a music connoisseur, people. This is the song that's on my phone. This is what I listen to when I'm on the road. Just to let y'all know. Look at who we just went through. We went from Gloria to the Rolling Stones to the Eagles. Wait, who comes after the Eagles? Back to the Rolling Stones? Nah, we ain't gonna do that. Nope. That's a SATCOM meeting. Y'all can't hear that one. Okay. Who does get... Oh, 702? They sang and Get It Together. I don't know this song. I'm a music connoisseur, people. I listen to everything. Oh, no, I know this song. Hold on. Can we get it together? Get it together. Okay, I do know the song. Because it plays in the background. That's how I know the song. Music connoisseur. Hey, gotta let you guys go. Yeah, we're there. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. So it's time to get out of here. Take care.